Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Midland's annual Dr. Martin Luther King celebration, hosted, as always, by the Midland Women's Civic Club. On behalf of our organization, Ruby T. Golding, President, and our members, we are grateful to our presenter, Lincoln Learning Solutions, and our sponsors, PA Cyber Charter School, the Midland Borough School District, Baden Academy, Lincoln Park Performing Arts Charter School, Midland Innovation and Technology Charter School, and Lincoln Park Performing Arts Center, producers of our event. Your representation on our planning committee has been fruitful toward raising scholarship funds to further the education of local students. Through the years, our community sponsors and donors have also supported our cause, and we can't wait for you to join us in the Midland next year. Today, we are here to honor a man who relentlessly fought for social justice and equality. As we still face these challenges, we are also heavily impacted by a global health crisis that has impaired everyone, no matter of race, ethnicity, religion, or economic status. We hope that our messages today will diverge us to a lighted path of hope and restoration. This year's celebration theme is perseverance. Dr. King stated, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." With that said, Valerie McKelvey, Jen Miller, and Asia Washington, unsung heroines of our community, will share their personal views of this quote from Dr. King. Mariah Carey and Trinity Thomas of Lincoln Park Performing Arts Center, we look forward to embracing your creative performance to express our theme. And to our guest presenter, outstanding running back Steeler, Najee Harris, your team contribution on and off the field is an example of what it means to give of yourself with passion and determination. We appreciate you for taking the time to celebrate with us with such a busy schedule. As we depart today, it is our desire that each person will be motivated to demonstrate more love and compassion toward others as we experience the impact of this pandemic. Together, let's move forward in prayer, giving, and believing that we shall truly overcome through faith, not fear.
We are moving in the right direction, and with the feeling that this problem can be solved in the United States if enough people give themselves to it, if they devote their lives to breaking down all of the barriers that separate men from men on the basis of race or color.
Thank you for asking me that. That's a very perplexed question because of the time we're living in right now. And if I'm hearing it right, it's how do we react to times of challenge and perseverance. The year 2022, I'm hoping, brings about a change for us, that we see life more seriously. I think that he was far beyond his time to say something so deep, and we're living through it right now. And it's going to be a challenge for all ages.
So his message resonates with me on several levels as I go through life. One, on a personal level, just seeing what he was willing to sacrifice for the greater good, for a cause that was bigger than him, that he really never got to see accomplished. That resonates with me because a lot of the work I do, I'm just making little, steps in impact in people's lives, but hopefully that'll ripple effect through generations. And also, just on a corporate level, especially working at the center, this idea that you just lead with love, you lead with self-sacrifice, you lead with the idea of unity and acceptance, and always for the greater good, and always, I guess the word is selfless. He's just selfless, and that's what I strive to be.
I would say Dr. King's thoughts on perseverance relate to me greatly, honestly. Myself, I'm from a small town, as you know. I now live in New York. I moved 6 months ago. I planned it, and it started with a dream, which, relates to him as well. Just thinking bigger than what you see in your everyday life and wanting more for yourself and actually going for it. So it definitely played a part. His words are strong. We hear them yearly, and also, it's not like that's the only time we celebrate Dr. King. So his words are always with me. I definitely think of them as I make my decisions and strive for greater.
In life, nothing goes as you want in life. There's lots of times when, I wanted something to be just how I wanted to imagine, but it never was like that. There's always a lot of turns that you gotta get used to. There's a lot of obstacles that you gotta just overcome. There's a lot of adversity you gotta overcome. There's a lot of mistakes, but it's part of life. What's life without, without a little bit of adversity? But it really challenges you as a man. You really don't know how a man really is, unless he's under some type of uncomfortable situations. I feel like you can always respond to something when you feel comfortable. I feel like you can always respond to something, when everything's just going perfectly. But it's not until your back's against the wall and then you really got to respond. And that's why I feel like, that's how you see who's a leader. That's how you see, who's really like that person, that special person.
I've been in social service for almost 50 years, and the things that have happened in my lifetime through family, school, churches, I'm saddened that the racism I think is still the same. I don't think we have moved beyond nothing but tolerance. I do see that we're trying in government, in school, we're trying with diversity, but the challenges are, they're deep. They're deep-rooted. And I think now the way the world is going, people feel comfortable saying and doing anything they want with no consequences. And that's what worries me.
The past 2 years, I don't think anyone's come away unscathed in some way, whether losing a family member or a friend, the quarantine, losing jobs, businesses shutting down, kids being isolated. But what I have witnessed is human spirit, this idea of perseverance, the character that comes out when you're forced to, sometimes really shows you that you are stronger than you think. It makes community come together. When we opened our doors in June of 2020, I mean, it was a slow flood of kids who came back and had to learn things that they hadn't learned over the past 2 years, how to behave, how to be respectful, how to listen and work in groups. But I just saw the joy that came from community again. So I think in some ways losing things that are precious push us to embrace them more and cherish them more and know that they're worth moving forward for.
I would say what drives me to persevere is just wanting to succeed and wanting to make my younger self smile, really. You think about the goals that you set for yourself when you're young, and they may seem out of the way. Like, I've always wanted to live in New York, I would say, since I was 16, and I made it happen. So I always remember where I started and how far I've come and the foundation that I set for myself. And I keep going. I love to pivot. I persevere through obstacles, just knowing that hard work matters and being a good person matters, and actually continuing, like quitting what would happen, So that's really what keeps me going.
So when I was faced with these obstacles and challenges, really ultimately it is, I want to do what is honoring to the Lord. I want to honor my husband's legacy and everything that he committed and sacrificed to help build the center, to build into the families of the community. And really it was just seeing the faces of the kids and the adults that I get to work with, and just knowing that they're worth doing hard things for, that this was a chance to be an example and to show them that they're worth sticking around for, they're worth investing in, even when it's hard.
Knowing that my charge here on earth is to make a difference. And I believe that Dr. Martin Luther King, again, far beyond his years, saw that these challenges would continue into the year 2022. I have a deep faith in God, and I know that God will bring us through. And I think without that faith and hope, I would not be able to move forward. And I think even when Dr. Martin Luther King, the March on Washington, to address that many people with the sincerity and the full heart of excitement for mankind, I wonder if in his mind he realized that we'd still be suffering. "50 years, can't even saying it, 50 years after he's gone, I'm concerned that our young people are not going to be as perseverant as our parents and our forefathers. I'm afraid that they take too many things for granted. I don't think they go into projects or even the thought process with all their heart. And I say that because the older I get, I wish I had been wiser sooner, but we need our whole heart in everything we do. If we could teach our children to use their whole heart, think with your heart.
Yes. I believe his message resonates 50 years later, and probably for hundreds of years after this. These kids have been facing challenges that I can't even imagine, with the racial things that are going on, with the pandemic and everything that, they have had to go through and assimilate to in their little lives. Especially I find in the teenagers, I think this idea of perseverance is one that is going to be recognized forever.
I love that there is an MLK Day, so it's never lost. There's recordings of his messages. We have quotes everywhere. We have streets named after him. So that's how I believe they're able to keep, him relevant. And then it's within us. Like, it's our responsibility to make sure that the younger generations know about Dr. Martin Luther King and all that he's done for us, and that he's not just a street sign or a school. Like, him as a person mattered, and what he said mattered. The vision that he had mattered and still lived on, because he believed that regardless if he would have been here or not, and he's said that in other speeches, he knew that his words were being reached by the masses, and we were listening, and we're still listening.
A lot of things that Dr. King said still resonates to this day. But his mentality and his way of viewing life I don't think that part can ever go away. Because, a lot of things that he said we're still going through now. A lot of things that, his perseverance and everything, that's stuff that's going to happen forever. There's never going to be a time where just things go well. It might be go well for a minute, but best believe, it's just knocking at the door when something's going to go not the way you want it to. Dr. King had the right mindset, of course, had the right mentality of how to attack life. Because everything's going to go, it's not going to go your way. He understands that, there's going to be a lot of downfalls, but, you get knocked down 7, get back up 8. So he understood all that. That's why he was such a special person.
Encouraging others through Martin Luther King's speeches and his dreams, from day one, when we heard that horrible announcement that he had been assassinated, and how it affected all of us, and how the world mourned, even people who didn't know who he was. And I think from that point on, when they started recognizing his day and called it a day of service, from that point, from the very first time that they put that event together, I had been a part of it. Different ways, collecting food or having book drives or oratorical contests or speakers, prayer meetings, anything that would recognize what he has done and to keep the memory alive. That's another thing that's important. Just as if we lose somebody in our family, when you speak their name, you're keeping their memory alive. This is what we do with Martin Luther King, but it bothers me that it's only one day. We think about him on his birthday, and then we go about our business. But are we still continuing to work through his dream and his message?
The first time I remember being struck by his life and his words and his message and his legacy was in high school in Moon. I had a class called Changing America, so covered JFK, all these things that changed America, and Dr. King was obviously a huge part of that. And I just kind of remember being just astonished by what he was able to do with such love and such peace and unity. And then several years ago, my husband and I were able to attend a conference in Memphis where we got to we went to the Lorraine Motel. We got to walk through his last moments. We saw the Civil Rights Museum down there, and I don't know, I've just been an avid lover of Martin Luther King.
So I learned about Dr. Martin Luther King through several ways. Of course, through school. I would say through my family. My father is from down south, so we have a strong understanding of the civil rights movement. My mother has spoken about them watching him on TV, and I have a dream. That's my favorite speech from him because I'm a dreamer. I've always labeled myself as a dreamer, and that's where your goals start. You have a dream and then you actually put action behind it and you make it happen. And you believe in yourself that you can actually obtain what you dreamed about. So that's definitely something that always sticks in the back of my mind, to dream it, to have affirmations manifest and, bring it to yourself.
I learned from Martin Luther King when I was really little. A lot of my family members are in the Black Panthers movement. So, they themselves taught me about it and about the Black Panther culture, but with Martin Luther King, I also went to elementary school, was K through 12, called African American Academy. And, we learned all about our Black historic leaders, from Malcolm X, Huey P. Newton, anybody, we learned about everybody. MLK, he was always like one of like the guys I was, way up here you have to learn about, because just of how much of a political leader he was in the Black community, not only the Black community, but just in the community in general.
I started in the Beaver Valley Mall. I worked at Old Navy. I worked at Deb Shop. It's no longer a store, but that was the real start of me like loving fashion. It was a woman's store, so I got to help girls with prom dresses, to women for interview clothing, so we had suits to dresses. That was the base. I got my visual merchandising experience there, so I was able to dress the mannequins and really fall in love with fashion and have that type of foundation. And then from there, I started to assist a stylist in Pittsburgh a couple years after that. This is after graduation. And then from there, I started to do my own shoots right here in Midland. Actually, my first photo shoot was in the alleyway right outside of Family Dollar, because honestly, living in New York, they scout small towns. So I utilize the beauty that we have here that people sleep on, but you can get some really great shots in Midland. So I started here, and then I built my network, and that allowed me to move and have a easier transition. And now I've done a lot of work for different types of companies.
How do you want to be remembered? How do you want your season to be? What type of player do you want to be? Who are you motivating? That's a big one. I think people don't misunderstand is that when people see you play, are they getting motivated? It's people who's once in your position, are they feeling like, are you feel like you're doing everything you're doing personally to help this team or help you get where you want to be at? There's a lot of things that I use as motivation. There's a lot of things that I want to achieve in my time here in the NFL. Because as I got here, I'm a rookie, but this is the start of my NFL career, but it's also the end of me playing football. So I want to make sure that I get everything I can achieve, and I know that I don't want to shortcut the game at all, because, like I said, this is the start. This is my rookie year, but it's also the beginning of the end. Because after this, there is no more. There is no, I went from little league, high school, college, NFL. But after NFL is, there's nothing after that. So I want to make sure that I achieve everything. I want to make sure that, I'm a motivation, like an icon. And I want to make sure that I know personally I've done everything I can to not cheat the game or just achieve all the stuff that I want to achieve.
I would say the scholarship helped. Well, first, it helped me go to Clarion University, where I graduated in 2012. I have a degree in sociology, which is the study of people. So I do still use it, even though I'm in fashion now. It's still a part of my journey. So my foundation in Midland definitely plays a part even now. So them believing in me and giving me funds to help for school and books and things like that basically helped me succeed. It helped me to graduate and to have a little bit less stress, because I had a little, help in the way of the Women's Civics Club.
This game is chess. You know what I mean? You always got to have a game plan. Always got to have a game plan, especially at the running back position. So, it's just really just having a mentality of like, I'm going to get what I want type stuff, one way or another. Like, I'm going to get to that first down marker. Even if it's everybody coming to me, I'm not going to quit. Like, and I want you guys to feel that.
I'm not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, 'cause no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me. Another round of bullets hits my skin. We'll far away, 'cause today I won't let the pain sink in. We are bursting through the barricades, reaching for the sun. We are warriors. Oh yeah, that's what we become. I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me. And I know that I deserve your love, and there's nothing I'm not worthy of. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come.